All right, today is the Sabbath. All praise to the Most High and His precious Son, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus of Nazareth, and the work done on the cross. That will always be done. Always. This video, we're gonna go over some game theory. Success in poker in the long run, not in the short run, in the long run, based on how much knowledge you can accumulate, how much insight to the nuances of the game you can accumulate. And if you can apply those resources better than the other players at the table. Fun facts. Getting over a cold. But fun facts. The topic is game theory. Even some women without Jezebel's spirit on them. For things out of their control, like overly fickle society, the porn on the radio, TV screen, big screen, magazine. The self-righteousness that environment creates. Of those devices, the images and the doctrines taught on those devices of Satan creates an atmosphere that's just fickle, self-righteous. What can you do for me? Things out of their control. I've been seeing this for a while. Something women have a hard time understanding. Game theory. Everybody don't want to sleep with you. Everybody don't want to sleep with you. Because a man looks at you does not mean he want to sleep with you. Here we go. Here we go. Game theory. Ignore unignorable variables like immodesty. And how the image, wherever it travels in the community, wherever the image of immodesty travels, variables in that community with open covenants to lust, to spirit of lust, to pornography, will be drawn to the image like a magnet, like a gravitational pull. They'll be drawn wherever the image of immodesty goes in the community. Anyway, here we go. Overall, we're addressing the lack of critical thinking skills, deductive reasoning skills. For example, a variable of the opposite sex utilizes social intelligence and how he uses his members of his body. The types of gestures and posturing. The type of head nod. Or the way he uses this member of the body to acknowledge the variable he briefly walks past of the opposite sex, meaning variable referring to opposite sex. The female brain will happily deduce wrong. The one whose gestures and postures, body language, sign language, that's a hand wave, or a so-called head nod, sign language, eye contact, sign language. How he utilizes his members are kosher. Eye to eye contact. Because he's operating from the light. Hold on, let me get there. Another variable, the polar opposite. All of his gestures and posturing and how he uses the members of his body are on some sliding scale from sensual to sexual to over-sexual. Eye to tit contact. Eye to pelvic bone contact. Eye to thigh contact. Because he's operating from the dark side. That's a casino reference. Dice game in a casino. You could play from the light. You could play from the dark. One is giving her some Jesus of Nazareth. The other, the God of this world. One, spirit of truth. Other, spirit of lie. Pattern recognition. Anyway, she'll put both into the same box. She'll categorize us both into the same box. He wants to sleep with me. Girl, stop. Girl, stop. By default, that's for far too many. That's the extent of the pattern recognition. That's the extent of critical thought. Something that's just basic eye contact. He wants to sleep with me. Game theory. Just to keep it fun, we'll do the 30% genetic wise. We'll address the 30% of the total population. Bare minimum. 7 out of 10 men will reject you. If you walk up to them, the female, doesn't matter if she got a Jezebel spirit, the female walks up to them. Just for illustrative purposes, let's just put to the side, men are hunters, women are gatherers. Let's put that to the side for illustrative purposes, for game theory purposes. 7 out of 10 men will reject her, even if her genetics are 30% of the total population. Little girl, everyone do not want to sleep with you. Why? Why 7 out of 10? Why not? Out of that number, you're going to have men who are happily married, happily divorced. One may be practicing homosexual or bisexual, dating, so-called dating. Just not interested. Just not interested. How about that for game theory? How about that? And this is geared towards Judah, my people, more so than other tribes. Because Judah is the one that struggles in this area. The engine just... They didn't teach psychology in my high school, I don't think. Nope. Or grade school. They don't teach this stuff. Human behavior. Judah struggles. The engine has to work really hard to get there in this area. Where other tribes, the brainstem is so nimble and agile and robustful. It's a smooth acceleration. Other tribes, other people groups, they can just get there. The engine just gets there. They can distinguish the difference between one operating from the light and one operating from the dark side. Pattern recognition. They can compartmentalize. This one will have a certain sequence, a certain set of gestures and postures. How he communicates, not just with his mouthpiece or the spirit behind the tone of voice in accordance to that mouthpiece, but how he communicates, how he holds a conversation through the members of his body. They can compartmentalize. This one is operating from the light, or kosher. This one is operating from the dark, or under the spirit of the lie. They can distinguish the difference. That's why other people groups, it's easy to hold conversations with the opposite sex. Anywhere in the Holy Bible Live, which is referring to when you step outside your house. You step outside into the Holy Bible Live. I guess the natural manifestation or the physical manifestation would be social intelligence. Other people groups, they can just get there. The engine doesn't struggle. They can just accelerate and get there. They understand social intelligence. Self-awareness, self-understanding. They can decode or pick apart or deduce within reason accurately. Natural answer, tone of voice, his tone of voice. Spiritual answer, the spirit behind the tone of voice. Here's a hint. If the pitch goes up, if the pitch goes down, one could be spirit of sadness. The other could be spirit of joy. Could be spirit of anger. They can distinguish the difference. Okay, one operating from the light, okay, of the law. One operating from the dark side of the law. Okay, again, light and dark. That's sort of a casino reference to dice game. Okay, you can shoot from the light. You can shoot from the dark. And if this ever goes viral, let me be real clear. Over her cold, dead, lifeless body. Woman with a Jezebel spirit will never admit fault, will never take responsibility, ownership. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. Why certain variables of the opposite sex you had some type of interpersonal relationship with, they just came off as 14-year-olds. The emotional intelligence, social intelligence, spiritual intelligence, it just came off as 14-year-olds. We gonna get into it. Poker. Have a blessed day. Shalom.